Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast Playoff Edition. I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast playoff special where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams in the playoffs from the previous games from the previous few days. Sorry. This time, we will not be breaking down any games because we are predicting the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. We're here. We're just right there. We're right there. This will decide who will be playing in the NBA Finals in just less than a month. We'll see who that be. Will it be the Boston Celtics? Applause, boos. Let's see what happens there. Will it be the Miami Heat?
Well, I already know who you're going to go with because you don't like Pat Riley.
There's nothing to do with this. Will one of those teams, which team in the East will be representing them on the West? Will it be the Golden State Warriors?
Yay!
Or will it be the team that just absolutely obliterated the 07, the Phoenix Suns?
There was no need to bring that up.
Dallas Mavericks. I know D-Book and Chris Paul booing.
Mike Aguirre.
We are here. So let's get right into it. Playoff predictions, our playoff predictions, and why we pick each team from each conference. Job, which conference should we start off with? You want to start with the East?
Let's do it.
Eastern Conference Finals. The number 1 seeded Miami Heat will go up against the number 2 seed Boston Celtics.
Yep.
The top teams in the East, and they all made it here, and each of them deserved it. Now, this is a tough series to break down. Both teams play great defense. I mean, he plays great defense, spreads. Boston Celtics plays great defense and spreads.
Yeah.
Both teams have a superstar. Miami Heat have Jimmy Butler. Boston Celtics have Jaylen Brown. Tatum. I'm sorry, Tatum. And they both have, one is a proven coach in this league and a top 15 coach of all time, Eric Spoelstra. We know what Spo can do. And the other one, the way he had led this team and pulled this team around in his first year, Ime Udoka of the Boston Celtics. So this is going to be a fun series. I mean, they tit for tat. To me, they're pretty much evenly matched in every shape and form. But what sets one aside from the other, Joe?
Absolutely, positively nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing at all whatsoever. Look, let's be honest. These two teams have a historic rivalry in a way, you could say, that has spanned out since the late 2010. I said late 2010. Like 2008. Oh, wait, not 2008, 2009, 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know the vibes. There's nothing really much to say. They know the vibes on it. They know it's gonna be how it is. You know, they're both battle tested. They both have experience. Both sides have experience of going deep into the playoffs. They're both hungry. They've been here plenty of times. One has actually moved on compared to the other, but they know how it's going to be when they match up. And there's nothing really much. There's no difference. I see no difference on both sides. I feel like everything is equally matched. It just comes up to when you throw the ball up.
Yeah, I can agree with that statement, and especially since both teams can shoot as well. I mean, we saw what Boston did in Game 7 against the Bucks. 3-point shooting went crazy. A big portion of that is Grant Williams, but still, the 3-point shooting went crazy. And the Heat, they got 3-point shooting as well.
Yeah.
But think about the series. I'm trying to look at the weaknesses, right? and with the Celtics, they realistically probably should have beat the Bucks in 5.
Mhm.
But because of mishaps and slip-ups, some of which on their end, some of which through the terrible refereeing, that series ended up going to 7.
Yeah.
And of course, they did play against the best player in the league.
Who, Kevin Durant? Yeah, we saw what happened.
Giannis. We saw what happened. We saw how Boston played Giannis, and we saw how Boston played Kevin Durant. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. But and then I'm looking at Miami, and they probably should have beat Philly in 5, but that series ended up going to 6, and B coming out like Superman, and then James Harden coming out of nowhere in Game 4.
Yeah,
but he have a home court advantage. And can you tell me how many times the Heat is lost at home in the playoffs?
I think it's the same amount of playing time we both got ever.
Yeah, 0. And I think that's going to be a big factor in this series. I really do. Because I think the Heat can go long stretches within a series. They can go deep. Celtics can too. Celtics have that home court. They was lucky to have that home court against Milwaukee.
Yeah. I think okay, when thinking about it now, there's no difference. At first, I thought there was no differences, but I could see one little difference that could probably set these two teams apart, and it works in Miami's favor, actually. They both bring high energy defensively, but I feel like offensively, Miami has more of that impactful firepower offensively in terms of when they get hot. Don't get me wrong, when the Celtics hot, they get hot, but it's just like Miami, they could really show that energy way more bigger than the Celtics, along with the fact that their bench is also really good offensively too. And I'm not saying that's a struggle for the Celtics because that's not. But when you look at the talent compared to the two benches, you're more willing to look at Miami's bench and say, hey, they could really go off when given the opportunity coming off the bench in terms of what they could do from a shooting aspect and just like overall flow of getting to the rim and things like that. Because like again, you got Oladipo, who, regardless if you want to say it has been 2 years or whatsoever, in my opinion, he's still a star, and we know what he could do. You talk about Gabe Vincent, who's a really good shooter. You talk about what's his name? I praised him and I forgot his name. Well, Duncan Robinson better show up, but what's his name?
Caleb Martin?
Not
Max
Caleb
Strus?
Martin. Max Strus. Is he starting or is he on the bench still?
He be coming off the bench, but I actually, because Duncan Robinson really wouldn't get no play.
Regardless of what it is, Miami Heat, I feel like with their talent on the bench and what they could do offensively could really be set apart from the Celtics from that standpoint.
Yeah, Max Strus is starting.
Okay.
Because Duncan Robinson was starting, but then he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Or they put him on the bench, so Max Strus was starting in Philly.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I feel like could be a little bit. It's just a little bit of a difference. It's nothing crazy. It's not wide. It's not extreme.
Yeah, it's not because Boston has depth too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Derek White, talking about Peyton Pritchard, talking about Grant Williams, talking about Robert Williams. They got depth. Daniel Tice. So I think that depth can compete a little bit.
Yeah, they're better. I'm not saying they can't. I just said that's just a little bit of a difference in terms of the talent offensively, though.
Yeah, I can see that.
But outside of that, there's nothing really much. It's just this is a perfect. This is like an almost perfect conference finals battle.
This is a tough one for me to predict because they're so really well balanced and matched up against each other. But gotta make the prediction.
No thanks. I'll wait until Game 7.
No, we're not doing that again.
Wait until Game 7.
We're not doing that again. We're not doing that.
I'll do a coin flip.
We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. You have
Nets
your
is Boston
prediction.
Celtics.
I know you have your prediction. We're not doing this
No,
again.
I do not. No, I do not.
Come on. You have your prediction, bro.
Yo, just go on, say your prediction, and
No. We're passing it to you. You're
no,
gonna
no,
say
no.
your prediction first.
Okay.
You
Heads for
ever say
Boston.
why?
Heads for
Why are you
Boston.
stretching this out? I know you have your prediction. You had said it before, but I wasn't paying attention. You have your prediction,
All
bro.
right.
That's
Heads.
it.
All
That's
right.
it, bro.
Heads.
That's it.
Best out of three.
Just
Let's
say your
see.
prediction. Say your prediction, man.
Yeah. So yep, it went to heads twice, and I had Boston for heads. So Boston is 7.
We're not doing this. Can you give me a breakdown?
I'm joking. Actually, I've been having the Miami Heat going deep this whole time, so it's Miami is 7.
And why you think Miami's gonna win?
I don't know. With the way that things have just been going on for this team as of recently, ever since that little scuffle between JB and Udonis, and just what the team has been doing overall. And we said in the beginning of the season, they probably wasn't the ones to win it that we felt like, but we had them as championship favorites regardless because of just the straight up pure talent they had on their team, and just getting Oladipo getting Oladipo back over time through injuries and from that trade from way back to just gave them more power than expected. And I feel like they're going to take advantage and they're going to use it to their best of their abilities. Of course, it's not going to be an easy battle because they're going against Boston, who they went against plenty of times before. We saw what happened in the 2020 bubble now, how good these teams are. So it just all comes down to it. But I had Miami regardless of whoever they was going to face in this conference finals, and I'm sticking with them.
Yep, you did have Miami in this conference finals, but you had the Nets on the other side, and you know who beat the Nets? Not only beat the Nets, but swept the Nets, handled them in convincing fashion. The Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
the Boston Celtics made KD look nothing like Kevin Durant. They made Kyrie Irving look nothing like Kyrie Irving. And then they go and battle the defending champions. Yes, Middleton not playing. But there was a tough series, a series in which they could have lost. And I seen this team bounce back time after time, like bouncing back after being down 3-2 and deliberately throwing the game in game 5 and then coming back and making a push in game 6 off of Tatum's 46 points and then Marcus Smart and Brown with 21 and 22. And then containing the best player in the world in game 7 to not having that outbreak that he was having in early in the series.
Yeah.
And in the previous game. So my pick is to the Boston Celtics. Tough pick, and I was going back and forth in my mind up until this moment. But I think Boston has that talent. They have the star power in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who can go on scoring explosions if need be.
Yeah.
They have the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Who did an excellent job in game 7 of helping guard Giannis. I mean, it wasn't always one-on-one because you can't do Giannis one-on-one. But he did an excellent job. They have shooters. Everybody on that team can shoot.
Yeah.
They have some veteran experience who can and players that can step in when they need to. Al Horford, Grant Williams, Derek White's a really good defender. Peyton Pritchard's a 3-point knockdown shooter. Robert Williams is back. I believe, I wouldn't say strongly, but I believe that the Boston Celtics will beat Miami Heat in 7 games.
Can't go against that.
But you got your prediction, Miami Heat. I got my prediction, the Boston Celtics. It should be a fun and entertaining series. I might switch up in the middle, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Hey, you from New York City? Of course you're going to switch up. That's fine.
Come on.
But hey, all I gotta say is, look, there's only one way to find out the results. Throw the ball up.
All right, but that's the entire series. But Jock, we have game 1. Tonight, ESPN at 8:30 in Miami. We got game 1.
Miami.
Miami. I got them for game 1 too. All right. So we have differing opinions on who will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. So now let's go on to the Western Conference. As the 3rd seed Golden State Warriors will battle up against the 4th seed Dallas Mavericks. In my mind, one of these teams is not supposed to be here. But they're here. They made a statement, and they have every right to be here because they've earned it.
Yeah.
So let's break down this series a little bit, Ja.
Go straight on the head.
So, of course, the Dallas Mavericks, you know, the big part of why they are in this position to begin with.
Yep.
Is, well, 3 things. 1, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd has done an absolutely fantastic job with this team and with this unit.
Yep. Go on.
Yep. He's made some adjustments and changes, and I feel like this team gravitates a little bit more and a little bit better than what they did with Rick Carlisle.
Yeah.
I mean, the results matter. It's right there. And they're playing better defense, in my opinion, than they did with Rick Carlisle. Now, Luka's playing, but Luka's been playing some okay defense in the playoffs. Now, I say okay because Luka's terrible defensively most of the time. But terrible to okay is an upgrade.
Yeah.
So he's been playing better defensively. And this team has been playing great defensively. So that's one reason that I get Jason Kidd. 2, of course, you can't be here without the superstar, Luka Doncic.
I thought
Man.
Dirk Nowitzki. Okay.
What?
I thought you were going to say Dirk Nowitzki.
Luka Doncic, he's an absolute sensation. He's a beast. He can take over games in so many ways. Rebounding, playmaking, scoring. He's just that level of talent. And we already know the talent that he was. I mean, it wasn't a surprise. We saw him since the beginning. People saw him overseas. People saw him when he was 10.
9.
Like this, it's just insane how good he is and how good he has been since he came into the league. And he's only been in the playoffs 2 years, 2 other years before this, 2 first-round exits. And now he went from first-round exit to a Western Conference Finals berth, leading this Mavericks team to their first playoff victory since 2011 and their first conference finals since 2011. You can't go wrong with how he's been playing. Thanks, PVO. And lastly, the third, the others. Now, a big portion of why Luka was first round exit was because a lot of the time, especially in the bubble when Porzingis was hurt and he couldn't really play well, he couldn't really play. He didn't have that much help. He needed other guys to help. You can only carry your team so far.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to be matched up against the right different teams. I mean, they were matched up against the Clippers. So that wasn't a big matchup, especially when you don't have the others. It's a rare time where one person can lead the team deep into the playoffs. Very rare. And we saw this team step up without Luka Doncic in the first round against the Utah Jazz and go up 2-1 in which Jalen Brunson looked like AI and Spencer Dinwiddie stepping up too. And that's another big thing, that great mid-season trade to trade Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie, because he has proven that was a right trade. And then in the second round, after being down 2-0, because Luka was carrying all the load and doing everything, other guys, listen, 5 out, Luka get the ball, ISO. If you do one-on-one, he's going to kill you. If not, he's going to kick it out, but y'all got to make the shots. And what did they do? They made the shots. Jalen Brunson absolutely bullied Devin Booker. Spencer Dinwiddie had great production off the bench. Reggie Bullock, 3-and-D type player. Maxi Cleaver coming in from the threes. Everything started clicking. And Luka was still being Luka, but now he has help. Luka being Luka. And with help, that's a dangerous combination. And that's why they're here. And that's why they shouldn't be overlooked. And they shouldn't be doubted as much as probably people are perceiving them. They just took down the #1 seed. And many people's championship favorites. So, my prediction. I talked a lot about the Mavs and not much about the Warriors because we all know what the Warriors can do. We've seen it. I mean, they were a dynasty. And they have that dynasty remnants within this organization still. Mike Brown, move out the way. Steve Kerr, head coach. Okay. You saw how much they missed. You saw it. You saw how much they missed him. But he's going to be back. And he's going to be coaching this team. You see Draymond Green, playmaker, defender, facilitator, rebounder. He can do it all. And this team really gravitates towards him on the court. Shooting. And new star, Jordan Poole, who's been in a little bit of an iffy stretch with Memphis, but now maybe he could bring it back in this series. And then you got, of course, Klay Thompson. Game 6, Klay came back. Hopefully he can get back into his shooting groove. And, of course, the greatest three-point shooter of all time. And the 2-time MVP, Steph Curry, leading the charge of all this. So we know what Golden State can do. We've seen it. But I've also seen their weaknesses. Okay?
Yes, we have.
The Grizzlies, I think, exposed some of that. I think the Nuggets exposed that in the first round as well, even though they lost in 5.
Yeah.
On offense, the Warriors rushed their attempts too much. They rushed their flow of the offense too much.
Yeah.
That causes turnovers. That causes bad shots. And that causes transition down the other end. Defensively, they can't really guard the paint.
Yeah.
So this might be a shocker to some people. Yeah. But I have the Dallas Mavericks winning this series. And I have them winning in 6 games. I know it's a shock. Might come as a hot take to some. But this team just proved to me, how can I be blind to what I just saw?
Yeah.
I can't. I got the Mavericks going to the NBA Finals. A team that I didn't even think would be in this position, but they are. I'm going with them.
Hey, let me tell you something. If Luka could do what Hakeem did back in '94, trust and believe, he's a top 75 player of all time for real. And they need to go back and redo that list. But yeah, I hear everything you said, and there's no need to add on anymore or anything like that. Obviously.
Yeah, I didn't give you much time.
No, it's cool. Hey, you said it way better than me. I won't be stuttering, been all over the place. But you said what you said. Obviously, the Golden State flaws are big this time because even though they still run the same offense that they always been running before and still have the same great defense that they always had before, obviously it's not 2015, not 2016. You know what I mean? These teams are more offensive orientated. They're more fast paced. They're more high octane. And again, thanks because of the Warriors. So the Warriors basically shot themselves in the foot with their play style. They're better shooting. There's more jump shooting teams. You know what I mean? And that's all because of them. So the Dallas Mavericks at the end of the day got to give the Warriors their props and all the love and respect, because if it wasn't for them, they probably wouldn't be this type of team. But or I could be wrong. But But yeah, the Dallas Mavericks just been shocking the whole world, the whole nation, you know, or internationally, if whoever's paying attention overseas. And I already told you I'm not going to be watching the finals if Golden State make it, so I have no choice. I'm going to go in agreement with you.
Don't do that.
Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks.
You know, he's not.
Will win
No,
this
no, no.
series in
He's
7 games.
he's doing that because he doesn't want Golden State, but he thinks Golden State will do it. So he has Golden State people. He has Golden State. He just doesn't want them to win.
Okay. Look at. Personally, I want Dallas to win, so I can still watch the finals. But if they don't win, oh well, you know, great run. But I'm not watching the finals to Golden State make it. So I have no choice. Dallas Mavericks in 7. Let's go, Luka, no Dirk. Thank you.
In other words, he means Warriors in 5.
Yeah, no, nowhere near.
I have my prediction. I got the Mavericks in 6. He has the Warriors.
I do not have the.
He has the Warriors in 5.
Let me tell you something right now. 06 finals, 2011 finals all over again in 2022. Thank you.
Just say you have the Warriors. And I don't know that you don't want them to win, but you can. Come on, bro. Just say you have the Warriors.
I already told this man since the beginning of the season when the Warriors went hot. If they make it to the finals, I'm not watching the finals. So Mavericks.
He's gonna watch it. First of all, he's going to watch it, and he has the Warriors. Like I said, you know my prediction.
7 games.
His is Warriors in 5.
Mavericks in 7 games.
Just because you want them to win doesn't mean that. I know in your mind you're like, damn, they probably not gonna win.
I think
because I'm kind of thinking that too.
You know, if they get swept, they get swept, but still. Mavericks in 7, Warriors, you're going home. No chip in the 75th anniversary season.
Read between the lines, people. Read between the lines. He does not have Dallas. Read between the lines.
Luka, you my man.
Let's leave that. But that's the whole series, Ja. What do you have? Game 1. Wednesday, 9:00 on TNT in the Chase Center. You got game 1.
Luka and the Mavs, maybe like this is just a one step away from a game 7. That's all I gotta say with them winning it all.
He has the Warriors. I have the Mavericks.
What the fuck?
He has the Warriors in game 1. I have read between the lines, people.
What?
Read between the lines.
What?
All right.
Mavericks, you say Warriors, like no.
You heard our predictions here. I had the Boston Celtics representing the Eastern Conference in the finals. Ja, has the Miami Heat representing the East Conference in the NBA Finals.
We both have
I have the Dallas Mavericks representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. He wants the Dallas Mavericks to represent the Western Conference, but he thinks the Warriors will represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals.
No. It's not
Read between the lines, people.
They're not
You
winning.
heard it here. You heard our predictions, and I will just see how it plays out. It should be a fun East and Western Conference Finals. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all falls and how it all comes together.
Hey, Lucas said it's easy to score in the NBA than it is overseas, so you already know he's gonna win the series.
Anyway, Ja, let's wrap it up. You got anything?
Go Mavs.
Okay, let's leave it like that. Read between the lines, people. Read between the lines. Thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into our next podcast. When will our next podcast be, Ja?
I guess in a while, because it's probably after game 2 of both series.
After game 2, so our next podcast will be Saturday. Yeah, but that sounds like a good time. Our next podcast will be Saturday after game 2 for both series. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
Also, tune into our social medias, our TikTok and our Instagram.
Yes, and of course, once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And This was the Mind of Basketball podcast.
Luka making it to the finals playoff edition.
In other words, I'm not watching the finals. In his words. But he's actually going to.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, peace out, everybody.